Miley Cyrus posts a tearful video to Trump. Watch.
I just wish that she had that opportunity because she's fought for so long. And because I believe her when she says that she loves this country. This is all she's ever done. She's given her life to make it better. But like Donald Trump so ironically played after his speech, it said you can't always get what you want. And happy hippies, we adjust and we accept everyone who they are. And so, Donald Trump, I accept you. And this hurts to say, but I even accept you as the president of the United States, and that's fine.
And I'm sure a lot of people can relate to exactly what Miley Cyrus is feeling. The country is definitely divided. It was a surprising, polarizing election night. We'll get into it, but first thoughts, 5 words or less.
Hannah Montana 2020.
Who knew Miley had depth?
My achy, breaky heart.
A wrecking ball of nerves.
Ooh.
My chest was just tight. So let's just go around the horn. What were your, first of all, it's tough because I want to address what Miley Cyrus just said. I thought that was very big of her. But then she got some flack for it. People saying, why are you surrendering? I personally think that she's taking the high road. She's going high. And I think that's great.
That worked in the election.
Didn't quite work, as Michelle Obama advocated us all to do. But what were your thoughts just on election night?
You know, I sort of went in expecting Hillary would, of course, win. Brett and I were sort of talking before we were on the air about all the polls. All the pollsters were sort of telling us this is going to be over pretty early. Hillary's got it in the bag. So it was, I went in a really good mood, planning to celebrate. You know, it didn't happen that way. And when I just watched with a couple friends, and when I realized what was happening, when we all realized what was happening, just the mood got really, really somber. And it's hard to reconcile how to feel, especially as a gay American. But I like a lot of what Miley Cyrus said. I think that it's really important for people to keep fighting and to keep using their voices if you have a platform. I think that's what she's doing. And we can talk about whether, you know, we think she is saying the right thing or the wrong thing, but I think it's just absolutely important to keep people engaged in the process. And I hope that that's what she's doing with her Happy Hippie Foundation. I just think it's really awesome. She has a big following, and she has a really interesting following because she came from country music. She still has that sort of middle America backing, and then the Disney Channel wholesome backing. She still has that. But then she also has a lot of her sort of newer followers and newer fans of her very progressive, especially movement with regards to the LGBT plus community. So I'm in support of this, but I'm bummed. And I'm bummed, but I don't know how to articulate it.
Yeah.
You did very well just now.
I did pretty badly. What about you?
I think everyone shares the same sentiment you felt. I mean, I woke up
At least it depends how you voted.
Right, exactly. But because I, like you, thought Hillary was a shoo-in, you know, because why would Americans vote for someone like Donald Trump, who in the last year has said horrible things and has been such a negative person up front, right? And then so waking up to see that on Yahoo News, President-elect Donald Trump, 45th, it was just like, are you kidding me? And it was a clear indication and very indicative of how, like you said before, how divisive of a nation we are. Now, talking about Miley Cyrus, I absolutely loved watching her video, and I totally subscribe to her honesty, the way she revealed, because Miley Cyrus is not someone who you think of being that emotional, and just the way she lamented about, I accept you, like I have no choice, like of course I surrender, and she apologized to certain people. She shared the pain with all of us, and a lot of celebrities wouldn't do what she did.
And then she took the high road.
Yes, and then Miley also.
And she's being hopeful. I do like that she said she wants to be hopeful.
And the way she addressed the elements of what she said about the LGBT community and how she compartmentalized certain things was brilliant. I wish more stars would reveal, because then they would become more relatable. So I definitely support Miley, and I do not think that Miley should be getting flack for what she did. She used social media in a positive way. More people should use social media that way. She wasn't denouncing anyone. She wasn't spewing hate. She was just saying, listen,
it doesn't mean she's not going to stop fighting.
Right, it is what it is. We have to, the Pandora's box is open. We've released the Kraken. We have to move forward. We can't cry over spilled milk.
The metaphor of a glass ceiling, like, proved to be even more perfect a metaphor than we realize it has been, you know? Because what does a glass ceiling mean? It means it's a limit that you can't see, so you don't know where it is. And that's exactly what it felt. Anyone who didn't open the sliding glass door before walking into a house knows what that felt like. And I can still hear that sound of like hitting and bouncing off. It makes you respect Barack Obama all the more, because there's a certain strategy going in that he has been able to maintain, and so much discipline he was able to have. There's so many things that you just can't do in his situation. You can't say it the way everyone wants you to say it, and do it the way that everyone on your side wants you to do it. He could never be angry in his campaign. In an era where it's like, you should be angry. There's so much bad stuff, but he's like, listen, optics, I know it. I'm a black man. If I appear angry, I'll be written off as the angry black man. There are things along the way that like people heard Hillary say that she should be able to say, should have every right to say. People who are fighting the same fight as her have wanted her to say and needed people to say that maybe by saying it, maybe that cost her. There's a lot of factors as to why we do not have President-elect Hillary Clinton right now. To boil it down to any given single factor is not giving it the credit, or the credit we don't deserve, but not really describing it correctly.
And I will say, I was happy to and relieved, because believe me, I was very disappointed, just like you were. I was shocked, and I couldn't sleep that night, and I was worried for our country. I was worried for my LGBTQ friends, more so because of VP Pence, or VP-elect Pence. And then I was concerned about the environment, especially hearing that Donald Trump had already had an idea to appoint, his name is escaping me, but he's a climate change denier to help with the EPA transition. So those were all the things that I was worried about. I'm still worried about, and still, but I was relieved to hear. I think that there needs to be some silver lining, and I was relieved that he did have he spoke with dignity. This morning when I watched that he spoke with President Obama, and I know that President Obama has been fantastic in him trying to make this transition a positive one, but he said that Donald Trump really wants to unite the country. So my hope is, whether this is false or not, my hope is that he did pander. He's a self-opportunist, and he pandered throughout this entire election, and that he's going to think about all the people. He tweeted, "Such a beautiful and important evening. The forgotten man and woman will never be forgotten again. We will all come together as never before." This is all I can go off of. This is all I can go off of to survive on a day-to-day basis.
Forgotten man and woman is exactly the brilliant rhetorical approach that Trump has to stuff. Who is that? Who's the forgotten man? Who's the forgotten woman? Beats the fuck out of me, but if I ever feel like I've been marginalized, I can be that forgotten man and woman. And it won't be until, look, he got through the door. He just walked, when you try to get into a club and you're not on the list, you just look confident like you belong there. And then you get inside and you're like, oh shit, this is awesome. And now we don't know how he's gonna act when he's inside.
Yeah,
and there are, just like any club, there's things you can do to get kicked out. There's a lot you can do where you're still in there. And I think our best case scenario, and this might be completely pessimistic, our best case scenario is he's just going to set up business deals that will benefit him in the future.
Grace?
Yeah, I think it's great to be hopeful. I definitely want to get around to that side, and I think it's important to accept
I'm not
that he
quite
is,
to that side. This
Right.
is my survival mode.
Right.
It doesn't mean I'm not going to stop fighting for what I believe in and fighting for the people.
Yeah, but I just feel like soon after the election, I've been seeing a lot on social media of people this is the outcome. We can't change it, so we need to accept it. We need to just grow and heal together. And I really think that we should. I absolutely do. But I also think it's okay to be really angry, because there are a lot of people that are fucking pissed. And you find out that people that are in your lives voted for Trump, which is direct. I actually said on my Facebook, and we're Facebook friends, so you know this, I said, please delete me if you voted for Donald Trump. Because if you voted for Donald Trump, you don't deserve to see photos of me and my wonderful girlfriend going camping. You know what I mean? Seriously, it boils down to there are communities, there are people who people voted against but are still gonna be but we're friends. I'm like, no, we're not fucking friends. You voted against me.
I don't agree. Because what that does is further divide, and you can't assume.
I'm just saying it's okay to be angry and then to heal together, but you can't ask people not to be angry and just to wake up the next morning and be like, it's all right. I think it's okay to be angry and allow someone to express their anger and then heal together. But if you ask someone to just boil it down and just shut up and take it, I don't think that's going to help. I really want to heal together as a country. I think it's great that he met with Obama. I think that we have a ways to go, and I think that we can absolutely get there. I really liked Miley Cyrus's message, but I don't like the feeling of being incorrect if I'm angry.
Right, but
you have every right to
you have
feel
every
angry.
right to be angry. And everyone says
You're
all their
not
feelings
alone.
are valid.
You're not alone.
Valid is a specific word with a very specific meaning. What you did, yes, it's right to be angry. You can't stop it. I mean, essentially, everyone was in denial, and now they're angry. But then you're saying you don't deserve to see this. I think it's unfair to imply that everyone who voted for Trump did so for any specific reason, for your specific reason. It's not fair to imply the reason they voted for Trump is the thing that pisses you off the most.
Yes,
is
I
like they're
agree.
being against gay
I agree,
people.
but
Some
I
people
am
are like, listen, I didn't want, and I'm not one of these people, but like, I didn't want the political establishment of the last 30 years to shove a candidate down my throat who when she talks, I tune out.
Yeah.
Like, that's a thing, and
But I'm allowed. But I hear that. I think a lot of people did vote for Trump, voted for Trump for a reason that has nothing to do with me being gay and Mike Pence and gay conversion therapy. I am sure of that. But I still I'm allowed to be. I am offended by that vote, but I'm speaking specifically to the people that are close to me in my life. There are, people, there are family members who I'm like, fuck you. Like, I'm trying to get married. You know what? I'm not any. Sorry,
Really?
if she's watching
Hey,
this.
how's it going?
I just mean eventually,
No, I
I would
know.
like to get married, and I don't want my
It feels
kids.
like they don't have your back.
Yeah, it feels like they don't have my back, and I realize that people voted for different issues, and I think that a lot of this has to do with anti-establishment politics, which I think is a really important discussion to have. But I did feel very soon after we got these election results that people were like, "Come on, Grace, just get with the memo. Like, we're all here together, like love and peace." And I'm like, no, I want to be mad for a little bit.
Yeah.
I want to be offended. I want to be hurt that a family members would cast their vote, and it feels personal to me because there's a person on the ticket that is saying, I personally hate that group of people that you belong to, and that
Yes.
sucks.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get married and have a family, and I thought that it wouldn't be a problem that. Don't get emotional. Sorry. I thought that it wouldn't be a problem that I would maybe have kids in a country where the president would be like, gay people, cool, awesome, your moms are dope, no problem with them. Once Obama came out and said, I'm cool with gay marriage and whatnot, I didn't think that we would revert, because with social progress and change, you rarely go back in time, and we went back in time.
That's not true.
I
That
think,
we
but it
rarely go
feels like
back.
it.
We
It's a-
do.
it's-
I mean,
it's a-
that's it. I mean,
Well, it does
there's
feel
a
that way.
thesis,
It feels
there's
that
an
way when you
antithesis,
hear that they
and then
want
there's-
to overturn Roe versus Wade, which I know
Hey.
erodes on a state level, and I think the blue states are going to be safe and maybe not the red, but it does feel that way. Because I don't want my rights to be taken away from me. I don't want my rights of the LGBTs
I'm
to
gonna
be
have
taken
a
away
dope
from
wedding
them.
one day, guys. Don't you want to go?
I don't even think he could do any of that.
I know,
I
I
don't.
know.
But it's more important
It's
to
symbolic.
set a precedent.
Right.
When a president sets a precedent of inclusion, that you hope will trickle down to the masses. And if that's not there at the highest executive level, the fear is, how are people going to react, especially those that are already prejudiced. So I feel you. This is a complicated discussion. I don't think anybody has the right answer. And I think everyone is going to go through a variety of different emotions in the next, few weeks.
Or 4 years.
Or 4 years. But that just means you continue to fight, right? You continue to fight.
And
So-
let's start giving young, stem cell treatments to Ruth Bader Ginsburg so she stays alive.
Ruthie.
You love her. All right, please share your thoughts in the comment section below. We really want you guys to get in on this conversation. We know that everybody has a variety of different opinions, and we welcome them all. That's the thing. I want everybody to feel comfortable about their opinions, because this is something that, this is a global issue. And we want to know what you have to say. So please share below.